Hello, guys. Welcome to this week's episode of the After the Catch podcast with your boys Dustin and Devin. Devin, how you doing?
Doing great, doing great. How are you, Dustin?
Man, I'm good. I'm good. So today we're gonna be talking about Wild Card Weekend, of course. We also have a guest at the end of the video, so make sure you check that. Stay through the whole video, watch it. You'll check out our guest later. And all of his links will be in the description below. So yeah, let's go ahead and get started. A big week, massive week. Make sure you go check out our previous videos, the past two videos we released this week. We released our playoff predictions, so we've already talked about that. We're just going to be focused on Wildcard Weekend in this podcast. We also talked about head coaching rankings.
Say
So,
something on the playoff predictor thing
okay.
that we did. I want to just establish this now. This is purely based off how the teams have done now. Obviously, you know which team I think is going to go to the Super Bowl for reasons. But anyways,
This man. Anyway.
yeah. Go watch the video, guys. I think my AFC team is going to stay the same for which team goes to the Super Bowl. But my NFC team, come on now.
All right.
Yeah. You just watch the video.
Anyway,
Anyways, go ahead.
Go check out
Dustin.
the video. Yeah, go check out the video. But we're gonna be focused on the wild card round. So like I said, go check out the head coaching video. Our head coaching video was great, and
Oh yeah.
we did guess. We made a good guess.
No, we didn't guess. We knew. We're just that good.
We're
We're
insiders.
just that good.
We knew a day
Yeah,
before.
we're insiders. We're like
All right.
Adam Schefter and
Oh,
Rappaport.
okay. Yeah, go check out those
Yeah.
videos. They're fire. So, all right, let's go ahead and get started talking about Wild Card Weekend.
I'm
right.
excited for these. I think all these games are gonna be so good. I'm excited for them. I have, like, me personally, looking at all these games, and we have a Monday game. Like,
Which I feel
chef's
so
kiss.
bad for those teams.
Oh yeah, I do too. But
It is a
I definitely
disadvantage, I feel. But whatever. Anyway,
they
let's
do
do
get an
this.
extra day to rest though. In fairness, for that game.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they get an extra day for this game, but they
It's a
get
game.
a lesser amount for the next week. Is that really? I mean, I don't know. I mean, whatever. Anyway, not the point. Let's get to it. We have the first game: Raiders at Bengals, fourth seed versus fifth seed. What are your thoughts? What matchups are you looking at for this game?
Ready. This is gonna be interesting because both of these teams are inconsistent. I'm not really a fan of the Bengals defense, to be honest. They're also inconsistent. I think I like the edge, not the edge, the defensive line that the Raiders have, especially with Max Crosby. If he's able to get Joe Burrow, that's going to cause a lot of issues. And isn't Joe Burrow the most sacked quarterback in the league?
He's definitely up there for sure. I'm not sure if he's number one,
Yeah,
but he's definitely up there. Yeah.
I know he's definitely somewhere high up there. So I think
Yeah.
that might be causing an issue for Joe Burrow. Um, my biggest thing, in order for the Raiders to win, and I think this game is close. I don't think this game is going to be a shutout on either side. And if it is, that just means one team is, on that inconsistent side where they're kind of like in the downhill portion where they suck.
Yeah.
And the way the Raiders win is they got to stop Jamar Chase. They've got to stop Jamar. That is literally the way you beat the Bengals, unless for some reason another receiver decides to play out of his mind. But Jamar Chase literally had 266 yards, if I'm not mistaken, against the Chiefs, which not only exposed the Chiefs' defense and how vulnerable they are going to be in the playoffs, but it also should be a hint to the Raiders, like, hey, if you don't stop this guy, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah.
For me, I'm putting a safety above Jamar Chase, and I'm having someone else play man against him. He's being double covered all game. I am not letting that man go downfield. No shot. You can't let that happen. But
Man.
my pick now. Actually, you go with your explanation. We'll do the picks after you. I want to
Okay.
hear yours because I'm
So,
on
yeah,
the
no.
fence still.
So, see, here's the problem with the Bengals. Their receiving core and their tight end and their running backs are very good. They have very good weapons all over on offense. So I don't think you necessarily can put two guys on one because we've seen T. Higgins, for example, have a great game. We've seen Tyler Boyd come up clutch in big games. We've seen Joe Mixon, been consistent all year, able to run the football, but he's also a threat out of the backfield. CJ Uzama, their tight end, also a threat. He can hurt you in the middle of the field. So I think that what the Raiders need to do to be successful is they need to have constant pressure on Joe Burrow. That offensive line is not good for the Bengals. They need to have constant pressure on Joe Burrow, and honestly, they need to also be able to sustain drives on offense, not just one big play, touchdown. All right, go back. I think they need to use Joe Mixon, not Joe Mixon, Josh Jacobs. They need to use Josh Jacobs
Hmm.
consistently and be able to run the football. The Bengals are giving up over 100 yards per game on the ground. Run the football, sustain drives, get Renfro involved early, get Waller involved early, and sustain long drives. Keep that Bengals offense off the field. Because if you can do that and make them throw the ball consistently, you can sit back a little bit more, play max coverage, use Max Crosby, and let him go off against that struggling offensive line. By the way, let's not forget they also have Ngakoue on the other side of Max Crosby, who's also a very solid pass rusher as well. Now he's not like top tier, but he's a solid pass rusher, and if everyone's going to be focused on Crosby, he can make plays as well. So I like what the Raiders have. I think that if they get pressure on Joe Burrow, they can change the game. And let's not forget, the last time we saw Joe Burrow play a game, he did come off the field hurt. Now he did say, oh, I could play right now, no problems, which I believe him. I don't believe he's actually hurt, like severely. But it could play an impact on this game. Get him off the spot, make him move around the pocket, make him uncomfortable, and you can win that game. Like you really can. I think that's the best way to attack the Bengals. And with the inconsistency on the Bengals defense, maybe you get them. You can make some plays. You can stretch the ball down the field like the Chiefs did in the first half, run the football a little bit, keep the Bengals off the field, and you might have something cooking. I think that's the best way to attack the Bengals. And I think that the Raiders actually have that recipe. They have a good running back. They have a good pass rush. They might not
They
have the
have.
better secondary, but they have the weapons. And they have Derek Carr, who's been
Mhm.
playing great this year. What it
And you know,
takes, it just depends.
and I 100% agree with that. The only thing I would say, and I'm glad you said something about it because when you mentioned the whole the pass rushing stuff, if and I think you mentioned it, rush for and like
Yep.
you said, max
Max
coverage.
coverage, you got to.
Bingo, you've got it. If that works, they're over for. They're over.
Yeah.
They're complete. There's no way. My only, like I said, my biggest thing is though you've got to find a way to like. Me personally, I'm still putting two on Jamar Chase, and even if you don't put two on Jamar Chase, I'm at least having two safeties high playing
Yep. Of
zone
course, for
and
sure,
making sure no one goes behind them because
for
that's
sure.
how the Bengals have been able to score is that they'll those big down the field plays that'll happen and there's Jamar Chase for like 66 yards. Exactly what he did to the Chiefs.
Yep.
You've got to limit Jamar Chase, and I think that's one of the biggest keys. And if you're
Yep.
able to rush with just four and apply pressure to Joe Burrow and sack him, like that's it's. I think it's going to be a touchdown win for the Raiders.
Yep.
Now, how do the Bengals win? They need to find a way to shake off the. Well, Jamar Chase can create separation. Um, but I think Joe Burrow might have to start finding some other weapons this game if they're going to really want to win this game. Not just that, the Raiders' defense is very inconsistent. They gave up 15 points in the fourth quarter against the Chargers. We're talking about the Bengals now, who in the past 2 weeks have gone super hot. Have thrown Joe Burrow has almost thrown for like 900 yards, which is absolutely absurd. So that's something that I'd be careful as a Raiders fan. Is the game's not over until it hit that clock at zero, because that Raiders defense will let up some big plays.
Yeah.
And honestly, if I'm up by two touchdowns, if I'm the Raiders, I mean, you play it slow. Like you just make sure that no big plays get away. You've got to make sure, especially if it's in the fourth quarter. Sure, give them the first down, but do not give up big plays. You cannot let them big plays at all. That's what they thrive off of, and that's how they beat the Chiefs. I'm gonna go with the Raiders on this one, and I know my stuff is gonna be a little bit different from the playoff predictor, but I've had some time to think about some certain things. I think this is gonna be the upset of the week. Well, I think. I'll have to see other games, but I
Wow.
think this is an upset. I think the Raiders beat the Bengals.
So that's interesting because my key for the Bengals is don't let Max Crosby ruin. Don't let Max Crosby ruin your home playoff game. That should be the thing the whole week. This might be the only game you host. You're the fourth seed, right? This might be
Mm-hmm.
the only playoff game you host. Go out, put a show, right? and play fast. I think best way to do it for them is let those receivers. They have a great wide receiver core. They have Jamar Chase. They have T. Higgins, who went up for over 200 yards against the Ravens. Right? You have Tyler Boyd. You
Mhm.
have Joe Mixon. Play fast. You don't have to throw the ball down the field every single play. Right? Give it to Jamar. Let him after the catch. Let T. Higgins go after the catch. Let Tyler Boyd do whatever you have to do. Play fast. Do not let Max Crosby ruin your homecoming. That's how I see it. If you let him get to Burrow and destroy the confidence that he's built up over the past couple weeks, that's how you ruin a game for them. Play fast, throw the ball quick game, and then, when they're starting to come up a little bit, when they get out of that two safety look, Jamar Chase bomb. That's the way you play it,
Yes,
I think that's the best way
yes.
to get them out, and we've seen that with the way the teams have played the Chiefs, for example. Do the same thing. Play quick. We know your offensive line is your weakness. Play quick, ball out quick, then expose them down the field when they want to creep up a little bit. When they want to try to, jump on that slant or that dig route, whatever, then make them pay for it. Because that's how you're going to win the game. And you already have the crowd on your side. Play it that way, and I think you have a good chance to win. For me, I'm still taking the Bengals. I think they have way too much talent on the outsides on offense for the Raiders, who's a very inconsistent defense, but doesn't have the most talent in the secondary. I like Morey at safety, and Casey Hayward's good, but he's a lot older. I'm going to take the Bengals, but Raiders upset is something I do like. I think it is very possible, but I think that it's just a little bit easier for the Bengals to win than it would be for the Raiders. So I'm going to take the Bengals on this one.
It's gonna be a close one for sure,
It's
though.
going to be a good game.
That's I'm gonna absolutely watch that.
100%. 100%. All right. Next game.
Oof,
Third
oof.
time this year. New England Patriots going to Buffalo. Been reports of single-digit weather Saturday night. Cold, possibly snow. What you thinking?
If I'm the Bills, I'm worried.
What?
Um, yeah, yeah. If I'm the Bills, I'm worried. Here's why. God, I'm sounding like Stephen A. Smith here. But Patriots last time they went to Buffalo, they only threw 3 times and they ran the ball down their throat. My concern for the Bills, what they've got to do this game, what they've got to do, and I know it's incredibly hard for them to do that, is they need to establish a run game that does not include Josh Allen. They've got to. That is the way they're going to win the game. And obviously, their pass game needs to be solid as well. It doesn't. Their pass game doesn't need to be great. It just needs to be solid. But first and foremost, that run has to be established. With the Patriots, um, this is an interesting one. I mean, obviously, they're pretty good at establishing the run. They are, and I think they should use that to their advantage. But I think that the Bills are going to scheme against the run this game because after seeing what happened, the first time they met, there's no way they let the Patriots run all over them again. There's no way. And that means Mac Jones needs to throw the ball in cold weather. And that's my concern for the Patriots. Is Mac Jones going to be able to throw the ball well enough in cold weather when either the run game is not going or whenever, the play design is telling him to do so. That's my concern for the Patriots. God, this is hard. This is going to be another really tough game. And I want to choose the Patriots, but it's hard to. What it really comes down to is, are the Bills going to, like, what do you think is more likely to happen? The Bills establishing a run game or Mac Jones throwing the ball in cold weather? And it's kind of like a toss up because Mac Jones didn't throw the ball much in the first game. And Devil Singletary, or the running back core on the Bills is not that great. However, Josh Allen is practically the run game. And he's a solid runner. And that's what concerns me. But I don't know. This is close. I can't believe I'm saying this, but I'm taking the Bills by 3 points.
Wow.
Yeah,
You have it a lot closer than me. I don't think
really
it's
you.
that close. Listen. Here's how I see it. Listen, here's how
Really?
I see it, right? They go to New England. They play in cold weather still. but not the wind that they had in Buffalo the first time. Let's not forget, it was not just that it was cold. They
That's
had
right.
crazy winds,
That's right. True.
crazy
True.
winds, and it was crazy. Now they play in New England, right? A couple weeks later, about
Mm-hmm.
what 2 weeks ago, maybe 3 weeks, 3 weeks ago now, right? And Mac Jones just struggles. He struggled. They couldn't run the ball. They forced to throw the ball more,
Mm-hmm.
and he struggled. He really did. And their defense was not stopping Josh Allen or that offense. Just being honest. And by the way, that game they were missing Emmanuel Sanders and they were missing Cole Beasley. Now, you go into Buffalo again. Cold weather. Less winds, but still cold weather. By the way, let's not also forget, Mac Jones plays a great game against Jacksonville, throws the ball all over the place. We're like, okay, his confidence, it grew. He goes to play against Miami. He struggles. Miami the week before gets blown out by Tennessee, top, top AFC team. Miami gets blown out. Now they play New England, who's a top wildcard team, and Mac Jones struggles and they lose. The Patriots are not hot right now. They were hot. They're not hot. Now they're playing against Buffalo, who I think is a way better team than Miami. I just don't see it. They're not going to. I just don't think they're going to let him run the football like that. It's going to be on Mac Jones again. And not that Mac Jones can't in the future, but right now as a rookie, I don't think Mac Jones can deliver. I don't think he can put the team on his back and carry him right now. I don't think he
I think
can.
he's the definition of a system quarterback right now.
Yeah, I think he is. And this is just because it's a rookie, and a lot of rookies are. And he's had a great rookie year. He's led his team to the playoffs, which is big for a rookie quarterback.
Yeah, and
But
I think he's still a solid quarterback. But like
he
you
is,
said,
100%. No question. You're right, 100%.
he's following this. He has to follow the system right now.
100%.
That's allowing them to
Yeah.
win.
And
And
I just don't think
I
he can
see
do
what
it.
you mean. Yeah, I
Buffalo
think
by
it's
10. That's my pick.
okay. I could see that. I don't know. Maybe 10 is a little too high for me. I'd go maybe 7, 7-3 around that range. It's just that the only thing that I would say, is that I would not be surprised if the Patriots win purely because of Bill Belichick, just because Bill Belichick has
True.
been here 1,000 times before.
True.
But however, Josh Allen has been here a handful of times himself. Obviously, not as much as Bill Belichick, but I think Josh Allen is starting to get, might start getting acclimated to the playoff environment.
Yep.
And that I think will work in his favor against Mac Jones, who, this is your first time, and you know how rookies are when it comes to playoffs and stuff like that. It might be a little bit nerve wracking, and it's like one of those situations where like you can't fuck up.
And
you wrong move and you lose the game.
And the argument I had when that first game happened with the bad weather, I said that bad weather plays into New England, heavily into New England's favor. They play on.
Oh yeah.
Now they play on the road still with weather that is neutral. Like it doesn't help anyone because it's just normal weather, right? And Buffalo puts on a show and wins on the road. Now they're playing with neutral weather again, but they're at home. And we know Bills Mafia is one of the best fan bases in the league. I just
wish we had a fan base.
Yeah, I just don't see it. I think Bills by 10, maybe even more. I don't like this matchup for New England. I really don't. I just don't think they have the quarterback right now because he's too young to be able to put the team on his back and just go through and just keep running. I hope it's a good game because I want every playoff game to be a good game. We don't want blowouts in the playoffs. Those are rough. They're rough to watch because we have no other option to watch that one game that's on TV.
Yeah, that's facts. Yeah,
but geez, I just don't see it. I say Buffalo by 10. Now we get to the Sunday slate, right?
Yes.
Which, it's difficult one. It's a difficult slate. There's some matchup stuff going on in these games. But anyway, we're going to talk about the first one. We'll let you talk about the first one first, of course. We have the Philadelphia Eagles, the 7th seed, going to Tampa, the 2nd seed, to play Sunday, noon East, Central Time. What are your thoughts?
By 10 or more.
Jeez, that is crazy.
Look.
Oh, 10?
Eagle,
okay, actually, I take it back.
Yeah, I think 10 or more. I don't like if the Eagles win this game. It is going to surprise the living hell out of me. There is, and I think from anybody looking at this game, there's no reason why the Bucs shouldn't win this game. They're getting Levante David back, which was an issue in the Jets back. I'm pretty sure he was just put off of IR.
Oh, I thought they were activated to practice, but they haven't been fully activated yet.
Yeah, I think if I recall correctly, he was activated off of IR. Shaq is coming back. There's one more person I'm missing. Levante, Shaq. Am I missing a defender here?
JPP.
JPP. He's also activated from IR as well. And those three guys are big pieces to our defense. Uh, the biggest thing that I would say for the Buck, and not just that, real quick before discuss what the Bucks need to do in order to really nail this game in the coffin here, is that offensively, uh, and we activated Giovanni Bernard, which I think is so good. I think that is so good because he is such a good pass catching back, and it also allows us to diversify our offense again, along with Fournette come back too. This game should not be close. This game should not be within a touchdown. It will only be within a touchdown if we cannot contain Jalen Hurts, and that's my biggest issue. My biggest thing that I'm concerned about is dual threat quarterbacks. We had that issue last year with Tyler Heineke. Just in general, this year I feel like we've gotten better with dual threat quarterbacks, but they still do pose a lot of problems to us. We are the third best rushing defense in the league as well. So we just got to make sure Jalen Hurts cannot run the ball because I'm pretty sure he's also the number one rushing quarterback in the league as well. So if we can keep him contained and preventing him from running big plays, we should be fine. I think we win by 10 or more. This game should not be close.
Huh.
Floor is yours, Justin.
See, this game was the opposite for me than the Bills game. I think the underdog has a good matchup against the favorite. We talked about this a little bit. Grayson has already been listed as doubtful, who is considered this new guy that's come in and changed the dynamic of the offense. We should see Leonard Fournette. We should see some good pieces. But I just don't know if this is a good matchup for the Bucks offense right now. I think they have a good matchup on defense, but let's not forget they played already this year, and the Bucks had those guys on defense. The Bucks were one of the healthiest teams in the league when they played, had all three weapons, had their majority of their defense, other than some parts of their secondary, and the game was a 4-point game. And this is before, the Eagles started to get into their groove. I think the Bucks win by 7, 6, somewhere in that range. And here's why. First of all, I think Darius Slay is a great corner. I think he's an elite corner. I think he's a top 5 corner. I think that he can give Mike Evans issues. You know what I mean? I think Mike Evans will get some. I think Darius Slay will get some. I think, I just don't think that Mike Evans can be super consistent. My question, and we've already talked about this a little bit, who is going to step up? Yes, Bernard coming out of the backfield, fine. Is that a guarantee, though? No, not necessarily. That doesn't necessarily threaten a team down the field. Who out of the receivers or tight ends, we know about Gronk. But we can expect them to play Slay. Now, do they come out and double team Gronk and say, you're going to have to go for someone else? My big question is, who's going to step up? Brady in his career has shown that he has, played with some guys that aren't big names, and then they leave him and they're not it. So that's why I'm going to give it to the Bucks. I think the Eagles are just not good enough to overcome. But I don't think this is a great matchup for the Bucks. I would not be surprised if the Bucks lose. But I'm going to take the Bucks by 7. I think Brady is just that good at making players better than what they actually are. And I'm going to take the Bucks by 7, but I'm not surprised, and I think that's why it's a close game. It's the playoffs, records are gone. And yeah, like you said, dual threat. Jalen Hurts has been playing a little bit better recently. Bucks by 7.
I still think there's too many offensive weapons for the Eagles to handle, and that's why I think it's by 10 or more. They can double team Gronk or double team Mike Evans, whichever one they prefer. But if you double team one and not the other, expect the other one to get the ball. And then not on top of that, Brashad Perryman. Brashad Perryman, Tyler Johnson, Scotty Miller. And then you go to our running backs. You have Leonard Fournette, who's been throwing the ball a lot more recently than at the beginning of the season. So Fournette can catch the ball solid. Giovanni Bernard excels at catching the ball. For me personally, I just think there's too many weapons for the Eagles to handle. I think Darius Slay is a great corner. I just don't think they have. I don't think the Eagles have a strong a strong enough secondary to handle that many weapons at once. I think it's gonna be one of those games where Brashad Perryman or Tyler Johnson, one of the I guess you could say lesser known receivers compared to someone like Gronk and Evans, is gonna show up and show out, and it's going to allow us to step over the Eagles.
The thing is, they don't have to double team Mike Evans because Darius Slay is going to play him man to man. They can double team Gronk. And yes, those other guys are it, but you're also, let's not forget, Fournette's coming off injury. Bernard's coming off injury. Um, um, you have also, like, on defense side of the ball, Shaq Barrett is coming off injury. JPP is coming off injury. Levante Davis coming off injury. They're all coming off injury. Yes, they're probably going to play. It's a playoff game, of course. But who really knows where they're at, like, conditioning-wise or, these type of things. If they're going to play every snap or what they're going to play exactly. Because it's the playoffs, players are more destined to play if they're 75% instead of if it was the regular season. Oh, if you're 75%, we'll give you another week. Do you know what I'm saying? Yes, those guys are
Sure.
coming back, but who knows where they're at conditioning or health-wise or whatever. And that's where my question is. I think there is a lot of talent. I think Fournette coming back, if he's 100%, perfect.
Oh
That's
yeah,
great.
it's over. It's over
If
for them.
Gio Bernard comes back 100%, perfect. That's great. If, Shaq Barrett and JPP come back 100%, that's perfect. That's great. But we don't know those type of things because it is the playoff. Do you know what I'm saying? And that's my only
Yeah.
concern. But that's why I still have the Bucks winning because they have that potential. It just doesn't surprise me that it's closer than it should be. And that's the only reason I'm going to do it, especially because the Eagles they didn't play their starters last week. The whole secondary did not start. Jalen Hurts did not play. Devontae Smith got his to break a rookie record for the Eagles and did not play the rest of the game. Their offensive line did not play. Like they got a week off. They activated 18 guys or something crazy from the COVID list this week. You know what I'm
I
saying?
remember. Yeah.
And that's just wow, that's a lot coming back for the Eagles with versus some for the Bucks, where it's big time injuries coming back. We'll see where they're really at. But like I said, I still have the Bucks, and I could totally see if those guys come back 100%, it probably isn't going to be close. I just don't know where they're at, and I think that's the big question mark for me. But I can
Yeah,
totally
I
see
kind
what
of
you're
like
saying.
at this game, like the Washington football game last year. If it does get close, I could see turn out like one of those games where, like you said, it's closer than it should be, and for some
Yeah,
reason, it's a one score game. It's like, whoa, hold on.
yeah, yeah. All right, this next game,
Mm.
which is a very good game. I think it's one of my favorites of the weekend, actually. The San
Mine
Francisco
too.
49ers going to Dallas.
Mm.
Oh, I actually think this is not a good matchup for the Cowboys either. But wait, would you like me to go first or you?
Why don't you go first on this one? Because
All
this
right.
one's really tough. I could see it going either way in this game.
Yeah.
Cowboys have struggled.
Yeah. So, um, the 49ers, they've been playing good ball. Jimmy G really surprised me this last weekend. They ran the ball well. They're super creative on offense. And their defense stepped up, specifically their secondary. Their secondary stepped up, especially after, you know, uh, a lackluster game against the Titans, I would say. They played good against the Texans. Then they played really good against the Rams. So they're playing good ball right now. My question is going to be, if they could stay consistent against a very high-powered offense, at times. The Cowboys' offense has been inconsistent, but they also lead the league in scoring. So the 49ers, though, they can cause the Cowboys problems. The Cowboys game that I think they struggled was the Cardinals game. The Cardinals were able to run the football consistently, keep Dak off the field, and they ran the football. They sustained drives, and that's how they won the game. Their ability to run the football really sealed in that game. The 49ers are very good at running the football. They will line up and just run the football with, Elijah Mitchell or Hasty or even Debo we've seen back there. So they have a lot of ways. They have a lot of talent like Ayuk. They have George Kittle. They have a lot of talent on offense. So they have the ability to just sit there and just run all over Dallas. The question will be how Dallas responds defensively and how Dallas's offense looks on the field. Last time we saw them play was Philly, and they went crazy. But then you go look, Philly's playing second, third string guys that are hitting each other when they're crossing in man-to-man coverage. And you're just like, okay, well, what does this really mean? The Cowboys, other than that game, have not really looked good offensively. Um,
Cardinals game was
yeah, that
not
Cardinals
good.
game,
They
they
still
really did not
lost.
look good. Yeah, exactly. They really did not look good. So, um, I'm gonna give the game
Mm.
to the Cowboys, but I think this is another one of those games where they have a matchup issue, and I could very easily see it going 49ers beat the Cowboys. But I'm gonna stick with the Cowboys. Um, I just don't think this is the game um, that the Cowboys get upset. or yeah, upset, lose, especially at home. But it's very, very possible.
Um, I, I think you pretty much nailed it on the head here with that. This just I have not been impressed with how the way the Cowboys have performed.
Yep.
They play a playoff team against the Cardinals. They were down I think a fair amount of points until they scored a touchdown and finally caught up. But mind you, this is a Cardinals team without J.J. Watt and Hopkins. Two really good pieces that the Cardinals are going to need to really get to the playoffs. And so, and you were mentioning the offensive weapons that the 49ers carry, and not just that, the D line of the 49ers is solid too.
Yep.
So if they're not going to be able to block, is it Nick Bosa? I think it's Nick
Yeah,
Bosa,
Bosa,
right?
Nick Bosa, yeah.
Yeah, if they can't stop Nick Bosa from pressuring Dak, that's going to cause even bigger issues. Uh, I think I think this is an upset. I think the 49ers win this. However, however, this is going to rely on Jimmy Garoppolo limiting his picks. And I gotta sit up straight for this one. This is going to rely on Jimmy G limiting his picks. If he can limit his picks, this team is going to win, and I am confident in saying that. They are hot right now. The Cowboys are not looking good. They are struggling. They shouldn't be struggling with the amount of talent they have. To be fair, they still have tons of good receivers. They have two good running backs in the backfield, and Ezekiel Elliott's having a good year. A pretty good year after coming back off of an atrocious year last year. And I would notice as I had him on fantasy, it was awful last year. He did not play well at all. So I have the 49ers winning. I have them upsetting. Key thing is for the 49ers is to offensively is to limit picks, and defensively, I would say get the Dak Prescott, apply pressure to him, force him to throw the ball.
Yep. I like that. I like that. Yeah, and I can totally see how that's possible. Like, it is very possible for 49ers to win. But, yeah.
I'm
All right.
also hoping it happens because that means 49ers will go to Green Bay, and I hope they beat Green Bay so Tampa Bay can have another home game. But
This man.
anyways, on to
This
the next game.
man. All right. Now we got Steelers at Chiefs. They just played a couple weeks ago. It was a smackdown. People are saying it's not going to be close, blah, blah, blah. I don't know. I think, I don't know, man. I got to say that I think that we're going to see a little bit more pass downfield from the Steelers, mainly because I think the Steelers saw what the Bengals did. They threatened the ball down the field, and the Steelers have weapons. So Chase Claypool, Juju returned to practice today. Juju Smith-Schuster
Oh, that's
returned to practice
good.
today.
Yeah,
They have Deontay
Najee
Johnson.
Harris.
They have Najee, of course. They have talent on offense. The question is how consistent can Big Ben be during this game? Um, I gotta be honest. I see this game being way closer than it was the first time. I think they'd probably lose by 10. Still, they're not very. I don't think they're very talented. I think that, but they have a great head coach in Mike Tomlin, who great head coach. I think that their defense can keep them in it. Especially since let's not forget Kansas City had Tyreek and Kelsey get hurt during the Broncos game last week. So who knows the health status of them? Um, yeah, I'm gonna say Chiefs win by around 10, but it's going to be closer. I think they can compete a little bit. But the key for the Steelers is simple. They have to start faster. They've had games where they've literally started out so slow that they get out like that Vikings game. They get out to a 21 point deficit or whatever it was, 24 point deficit, and then they come back in the second half, but they just don't have enough time to finish it because it's so many points. So they need to, and that's the same thing with the Chiefs game the first time. The Chiefs got so far ahead that they just, no matter what they did, even if they were even better in the second half than they actually were, they couldn't even get there because it was so far away. So I'm going to take the Chiefs by 10, but I think the Steelers, if they get started faster, it can be a really close game and maybe even contest the Chiefs, but I just don't see it. I don't think the roster is good enough.
I think the offensive roster for the Steelers is good enough, or
I just don't think they're I just don't think they're overall like. Yeah, I think quarterback play really holds them down. Their offensive line's not great, so they're not able to consistently run the football. Um,
yeah.
and that's just the problems I see. I think their defense is good. Obviously, they have T.J. Watt. They have a good defensive line. They have Mika Fitzpatrick. Um, I don't know. Their secondary, their corners aren't necessarily great. I don't think they match up well against Tyreek and
Mhm.
Kelsey. But if those guys are hurt, they're not 100%. Who knows where that goes? So, yeah, I just think coaching keeps them in it. I really do.
Yeah, this is an interesting game because the Steelers over throughout this year has been, once again a very inconsistent team, and even then, I just like I'm like not very impressed with this team at all. They've had some solid wins, but um, it's tough. I feel like this game is tougher than it looks, purely because of the fact Big Ben is going to go all out this game. That motherfucker will throw the ball downfield every single play if he wants to. He literally has nothing to lose, and it was obvious in his little conference he had the other day. You know, let's just see what we can do. Like, okay, well, that could mean anything. That could mean a bunch of trick plays. It could mean passing it more often. However, if they're going to pass it, they need to protect Big Ben because Big Ben under pressure is no bueno. That man will throw a pick, and they don't want the same results they had last year with the Browns. Um, it's this game is. I don't even know this. I think the Chiefs win. I think it's by 7 or less points.
Wow. Okay.
And now this is of course I don't. This is tough because I'm not a fan of the Chiefs secondary whatsoever. I think they have a terrible secondary. I think what keeps them in games is the D line's ability to get to the quarterback, apply pressure, and
Yep.
sack them.
100%.
And that's what I think the key part for the Chiefs is going to be. For the Chiefs is to get to Big Ben, apply pressure, get him sacked. If the offensive line for the Steelers is able to hold down that D line, expect this game to be close and expect to Steelers possibly win this. Possibly. I don't even like the Chiefs going into the divisional round because of their secondary. Because when you look at all these other AFC teams, Josh Allen and the Bills, pass heavy. Joe Burrow and the Bengals, pass heavy. Look at the Raiders; they might be a little bit more diversified than the other two teams, but still relatively pass heavy. What are the team in the AFC? I mean, the Tennessee Titans with Derrick Henry back, they're going to be a lot more. I think they're going to be one of the most diversified team, and maybe even more on the run heavy side.
I mean, these
Who else do
two,
we have?
Bills.
Patriots, I wouldn't be worried about. If they play the Patriots, I could see the Chiefs being the Patriots.
Yeah, no, I think Raiders, Bengals, and Bills can give them issues in the secondary. Tennessee can give them issues, but you're right, they're not going to throw the ball as much. They'll be more run heavy, depending on Henry's health, of course.
Exactly. So I think if the Chiefs don't lose this week, they lose next week. It's gonna be a close game, though. I'm hoping for the Steelers. On, honestly, like I said, I have the Titans going to the Super Bowl, but it would be nice to see the Chiefs knocked out first round. That would be kind of funny, and I can't wait for the comments on that.
That would be funny.
That's the
Yeah.
biggest thing is
So
everyone like
you got Chiefs by less than 7, right?
7 or less.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay. All right. In the final game, Monday night, Cardinals going to the Rams. This is also the third game of the year where they split the first two. What are your thoughts on this game?
Rams are in trouble. They are in some trouble. Both of these teams have not been playing well in the past couple of weeks. Cardinals have a good win over the Dallas Cowboys, while the Dallas Cowboys were at home. So there's some credibility there. But Cardinals lost last game. Yeah, they lost against the Seahawks. I'm not sure if they were starting their starters. But the key thing about I was gonna have the Rams winning this one, but the Cardinals have J.J. Watt and possibly Hopkins coming back. Correct? I think Hopkins is possibly coming back.
J.J. Watt was at practice. I'm not sure about Hopkins.
If Hopkins comes back, that's going to be an issue. And I think even with J.J. Watt come back, it's going to be an issue. Matthew Stafford has thrown a lot of picks recently, and it's been on average about 2 picks about each game in the past couple of weeks. And I think that's going to be an issue when you give a team like the Cardinals that type of possession. And the Rams game, for example, the Rams should have won that 49ers game. That was just a badly timed throw by Matthew Stafford. He threw that ball way too late and caused an interception because Odell Beckham had him beat.
Yeah.
He had that separation towards the end of the play when the ball was coming back down. So, and I'm not going to be a fan of Matthew Stafford having to deal with that D line. If they cannot protect Matthew Stafford, they're going to be in trouble. But then again, it's they could just do some quick dump off passes to Cooper Cup. I have the Cardinals winning, and I think it's by 7 or less for this game.
Wow. So I originally, when I did the playoff predictor, I had the Cardinals winning. But I think you just convinced me and my own brain to go with the Rams.
I convinced you.
Here's a couple
No way.
things I was listening at. First of all, I'm not sure about Hopkins. I have not heard about Hopkins, so that's one thing. That's the one thing that does get me. But number two, when I go back and think, am I comfortable with the Rams' offensive line? The last time they played, Aaron Donald went crazy, and Von Miller wasn't even hot. Von Miller's been playing much better as of late, right? And then
Just real
everyone's
quick,
yeah,
Hopkins is not going to be in the wild card.
he's not playing.
He is not playing.
Yeah, this just makes it even easier for me. I'm taking the Rams. I'm going back. I'm changing it all. Forget about my playoff predictor. I'm going with the Rams, and here's why. Okay, I think the Rams' defensive line causes issues again. I think they can stop the run. They can limit the run, and if they keep Kyler in the pocket, I think they have a very, very big chance for success. Right? Now, my biggest thing was all but Matthew Stafford hasn't been playing well as of late. Yes, he hasn't. But I just remembered that Russell Wilson just went and carved up this Cardinals defense last week in a position where the Cardinals they played their guys. They played their guys. Kyler Murray played last week. They played their team and they did not look that great. They scored some points on offense, yes, but that Seahawks defense is atrocious. We know that. And on defense, they gave up a whole bunch of yards. They let Russell Wilson play around. If the Seahawks lose that game, you might see Russell Wilson out of town and Pete Carroll's gone. Said you gave him some false hope, but now they're staying. All right? I think the Rams with Cooper Kupp, Odell Beckham, Van Jefferson, Tyler Higbee, Sony Michel, Cam Akers, and even with the possibility of J.J. Watt coming back, which is not a guarantee, by the way, because he has not been fully activated off of IR, I think the Rams have a chance here. I think they really do. We don't know. JJ could be getting rushed back, right? The only problem I could see is if that Cardinals defensive line causes issues with Stafford, but that Seahawks offensive line is not much better than the Rams. I'm saying it now. Rams win, especially when there's no D Hop. I mean, Jalen Ramsey gets to mess around and go guard who?
AJ Green.
AJ Green? Oh, come on, dude. I just don't see it. Rams win against my playoff predictor. Ruins my whole playoff predictor already. Games haven't even been played yet. My playoff predictor is ruined. But Rams win. And I still think Stafford throws a pick. So, yeah.
So I want to say something about that. Talent-wise, the Rams should win. I still think the Cardinals are going to win.
It's very possible.
I still think, and it's interesting because neither team is hot right now.
Nope.
And they just lost.
Yep.
So honestly, this game comes down to who's going to want it more. And I'm still going to stick with the Cardinals. But I wouldn't be surprised if the Rams win. The Rams should win, but I have the Cardinals win.
Yeah, and I have the Rams winning. So, yeah. All right. That is this weekend's slate. Any other comments about this game?
No, I feel pretty good about
feel good?
all the guesses. Yeah.
So we went into full detail and looked good. So now we're gonna cut. We're gonna go get our guest, and we'll be doing our playoff power rankings, including the teams from the playoffs only. So stick around, and you'll see that now.
All right, so now we're going to move on to the NFL Power Rankings. And before we get started with that, we want to welcome our guest here, Bryan. Say hello.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
So Bryan is a Twitch streamer. He does a lot of Vanguard, a lot of Warzone stuff. We're going to have a lot of his socials in the description below. Definitely make sure you go check him out and support him. He actually has a lot of cool videos, and he's on TikTok as well. He's pretty good.
For sure.
But let's go ahead and get back to this. So and now we're on to the rankings, the power rankings that we think for these 14 teams here. So the playoff teams, obviously, the Titans, Bucks, all those are teams are going to be the playoffs. Every team below, well, we don't have to worry about. They're just teams that are going to be non-existent, obviously. So actually, I want to go ahead,
season, baby.
Exactly.
Oh my God,
Colts fans are crying right now. Anyways, actually, in fact, Brian, we're gonna go ahead and start off with you. Go ahead and for the Super Bowl favorites, we're only going to do two teams, one from the AFC and one from the NFC. Choose two teams that are the Super Bowl favorites.
This is consensus, right? We're gonna do this as a consensus.
Yes, this is consensus. Okay. I want Brian to select the two first teams that come to mind.
I would have to say I have to go with Tampa and Green Bay. If it's not Tampa, it would have to be
No. One from the AFC and NFC.
So one from each conference. Or no, let's do two from each conference. I think that's best.
I would say okay, two, yeah. Let's do two.
From each conference. I think that's fair.
Okay. I want to put a Cowboys and Bucks up there for sure.
Okay. Super Bowl favorites.
Super Bowl favorites.
Oh, spice!
Then I want to put Green Bay in Tennessee.
Brian, Green Bay is in the NFC.
Fucking not Green Bay. See, but like if you look at the AFC, it's just like
there's a lot of good teams there.
It's tough. It's tough.
Everyone has that negative.
Green Bay is in AFC, but that's just so tough though. Like I don't see any other teams. I would say Kansas City again. I mean,
so
just
Titans and Kansas City.
Yeah, Titans and Kansas City.
Okay. Dustin, would you okay if I go first for my opinion on this?
Yeah. Go ahead.
I want to start with the NFC. The Cowboys are not going that far. I don't have them as Super Bowl favorites. As much as I like them, and as much as I do think they have the capability to go to the Super Bowl. I definitely they have the team to do so. The defense has looked pretty good this year, and actually it looked a lot better from last year, which was one of the issues. And their offense looked great. Unfortunately, they haven't looked that great in the recent weeks. But to call them Super Bowl favorites is kind of hard to say. Even though it's funny that I say that because I'm hoping that they beat the Packers in the divisional round. Obviously they got to go to the Niners first. But I'm putting the Packers and Bucks.
Damn. See,
what are your thoughts on that? Oh God,
I disagree with both of you.
Watch this.
Wait, no.
He's gonna go Packers Rams, right? Packers Rams,
and
no.
Oh, go ahead.
Packers.
Oh no.
Cowboys.
And I just threw up in my mouth.
I mean,
I want to hear your explanation for Packers is obvious. It's Aaron Rodgers, but why the Cowboys?
I think well, the Packers obviously. I don't know why. I still have this Lambeau block in my head. Like someone's gonna have to go to Lambeau. I kind of struggle with that. I think that's why they should be a favorite. Not that they'll win the thing. Maybe I think they have to be a favorite because of home field advantage. I think home field advantage is huge, right? Especially for the climate that they're in. But the Cowboys match up extremely well against Tampa. I think that every year you have an upset in the wild card. I think we'll see one in both conferences. I think you'll see an upset in the AFC. I think it'll be an upset in the NFC. Now, I don't know who the upsets will be, but I could very well see a Cowboys, Bucks, an NFC divisional round. I'm thinking that maybe the Rams lose to the Cardinals. That's a very big possibility. The Rams,
fair.
First of all, played at home against the 49ers. Yesterday, recording this on Monday, by the way. And they got less fans for the Rams showed up. They got out. They were louder. The 49ers were louder in their own on the road.
That's true.
Cowboys, Packers. I think are my Super Bowl favorites. The Cowboys match up too well against the Bucks.
Is that even possible though?
Yes. If the Cardinals beat, because the Cowboys I believe are the third seed.
Okay.
If the
I thought Cowboys was fourth.
No, because the
I think
Rams
Cardinals
lost
are fourth.
yesterday. No.
No, the
Rams
Cowboys
are
are fourth, right?
No,
No,
the Cowboys are fourth because
no.
we got second yesterday.
No, it
Oh.
is Cardinal. The first game is Cardinals Rams. Rams are the fourth
Right.
seed. The Cardinals are the fifth seed. If the Cardinals beat the Rams, the Cardinals are playing the Packers in Lambeau while the Bucks play the Cowboys.
Isn't Cardinals 5th seed and Rams 4th seed?
Exactly, but the lowest seed
Okay, yeah.
plays the Packers. So if every Cowboys win and the Cardinals win, the Cardinals are going to Lambeau. Dallas is coming to Tampa. But this time, Tampa doesn't have Godwin. Tampa doesn't have AB.
Yeah.
That's my choice. Obviously,
It's a good choice.
It's tough. But I could see it.
Man.
I could see it, baby.
So
I
we all can agree with this, but just put Green Bay up there for the fact that I mean, I would say those are the top 5 favorites.
Well, those are the top 3 teams for the NFC. The AFC gets a little bit more interesting.
It does.
I think we can leave this.
I think we can agree on one team for the AFC.
No. I don't agree with the Chiefs. I do not agree with the Chiefs.
Really?
Get them out of here. Get them out of here.
No.
Hey, can you do me a favor? Grab that Chiefs logo and get them out of here.
No.
They're
I'm not
Super
letting
Bowl
you do
favorites.
this. I'm not letting you do this. I'm not letting you do
Okay,
this.
if you're not gonna let me do that, at least add a team.
We're not gonna. No.
You sound like you already know who I'm gonna add.
I feel like you're gonna add New England because you've been New England lover.
Incorrect.
But I don't want you to add the Bengals because I
team.
have an argument for the Bengals. Please don't do this.
Add the Bengals.
No. We're not
Yes.
doing this. No, we're not doing this.
Okay, look. But I want to put this in perspective here. They both played against each other, and the Bengals won. Both of the defenses are not that great. And honestly, if
At home.
you know what, I would even argue this: take the Chiefs out. Just do that for me. Take the Chiefs out.
No, I can't. I can't agree though. There's no one.
Take the Chiefs out.
No.
I think there's
no.
I think the Titans. I think the Titans have a big gap from every team in the AFC. Not a big gap, but I think there's a noticeable gap between the Titans and the rest of the AFC. Why? If you look at the Titans, the defense has been hot. The defense has been playing better in the second half of the year. The offense, yes, after they lost Derrick Henry, it's been rough. They need to get their pass game together, and that's exactly what they've done. Now you add Derrick Henry to the mix, it can only make that team better. Their defense has already been playing great.
But there's no
now
argument
their
for
offense
Tennessee.
is on fire.
There's no argument for Tennessee.
But no. But I say that because great defense,
Yep.
good offense that is only going to get better with Derrick Henry. Now you look at Kansas City. Their defense is terrible. The only thing that saves them on defense is their defensive line. They are able to apply a lot of pressure to the quarterback, which is the only thing that's been saving them, in my opinion. Because when you watch the Bengals game, the Bengals threw all over them, and they in fact won the game. The problem with the Bengals,
I can't believe
their
we're
defense.
doing this.
Their defense is also. Hold on. Listen
No.
here, Dustin. The Bengals defense is also not that great.
Oh my gosh.
So, I think the Chiefs and the Bengals is a 50-50. Let's go to some of the other AFC teams.
Don't do this. I will walk out.
The AFC. Not the AFC. The Steelers' offense is really not that great. Big Ben, whoever it is, it's not that great.
It's under that defense.
Realistically, I see the Chiefs beating them. Let's move on to the next team, the Bills. The Bills have been.
Are you still talking this nonsense?
The Bills have been inconsistent.
No, are you talking this nonsense right now?
No, I'm not talking this nonsense. Bills have been inconsistent. I do not like the fact they do not have the run game. The only run game is literally Josh Allen. Sure, Devin Singletary had one good game.
Hold on. No.
And honestly, let's hold on. This is another big point I want to make. They are quote unquote the number one best defense in the league, statistically speaking. But why? Because they played garbage teams. Sure, in the second half of the year, they played some solid teams, some good teams, but in the first half of the year, their stats have been padded like a mother trucker. The Dolphins blew up by 40. The Dolphins were nothing at the beginning of the year. The Texans, I think they also blew up by 40. It was just adding stats to them because they literally didn't allow them to score. Allowed them to score 0 points. Do the Bills deserve credit? Absolutely. I think they're a top 5, top 10 defense, but to say they're the best in the league, I think that's incorrect. The Raiders. You look at the Raiders, and they're just inconsistent. They're just inconsistent. If they had a consistent pattern, honestly, they've been hot. They've been hot.
There's no way this is happening.
They've been hot
No
at the end of this season. Here's a hot take: the Raiders come and beat the Bengals in Cincinnati.
Well, you were just a Bengals fan.
I was, and now I'm a Raiders fan. Now
you talked yourself out of it. No.
No. Okay, like I said, I think the Kansas City Chiefs and the Bengals are 50-50. And I think with the momentum that the Raiders have, I think they have a shot at beating the Bengals. And I honestly think that is very possible just because of the inconsistency that the Bengals have. I mean, the Raiders have inconsistency too. It's honestly another coin flip. I think Kansas City Bengals and Raiders are in that 50-50 shot. I think honestly the Bills have been slightly more consistent, but there's just a lot of question marks that I have for the Bills, honestly.
Crazy.
Compared to those teams. The Patriots. Okay, listen here.
No.
The Patriots defense is great.
Your boat is stopped. Time out. Your boat is stopped.
You're going to agree with what I say here, actually. I am actually not for the Patriots. Do I think they have a chance to beat the Bills? I do think they have a chance to beat the Bills. However, I am not a fan of their pass game. And honestly, this just happened now, but I think the Bills beat the Patriots. I know.
I told you.
News alert! The Bills beat the Patriots.
No.
I've been hopping on this Patriots train with Mac Jones, but Mac Jones has not been that great of a passer as like everybody thinks.
But he's also
Sorry,
the pressure has been getting to him as well. I don't know if you've been realizing, but he's been getting pressured a lot more. And if I am correct, he has been sacked. Almost 10 times already in the past two, 3 games.
They rely on the rush. They rely on the rush game. Damian Harris sets him up, and this is originally I put the Patriots in the same boat as the Titans when the Titans initially started to begin to struggle after they lost Derrick Henry because they relied on the run game. But now that the Titans have become self-sufficient in the pass game, and now you're getting your big player back, literally allowed you guys to win that many games at the beginning of the season. That's what makes Titans the biggest threat.
Jeez,
I think. It's just hard to put any other team up there with the Titans. I personally would put the Titans, the only AFC team up there. I don't think any other team has as good a shot as the Titans do.
Okay.
The Titans are just going to going to ball out. They're going to ball out. I think they're going to ball out,
guys,
and I think they're going to make the Super Bowl.
I did not pay them to say this. I promise.
Titans are a top 2 team. I mean, the only one I would say is that Green Bay.
They're a top 2 team, and they're not 2, Brian. Especially in the AFC, they are definitely not top 2. They are number 1 in the AFC.
Listen. I think
they're number 1?
I think this top is good because I don't think the Bengals are a little young. I think they're inconsistent on defense. I think their offensive line of play is not very good. I think this top is good. I think we can go ahead and slide the Bengals. I think they're just short. They need help on offensive line.
Yes, agreed.
Okay?
Yes.
They need help on offensive line. Their defense is inconsistent. And are they going to be able to stay with Tennessee? With Tennessee's defense playing at a good pace right now?
Nope.
I don't think so. Kansas City at home. By the way, Mahomes and the offense struggled to do anything in the second half. So if they do a little bit less production in the first half and a little bit more production in the second half, I game. You know what I mean? If you could counter it out, I think if they play more consistent at the whole game, I think they win the game. Okay. I think Kansas City beats the Bengals at home. I think Kansas City would win that game at home. Okay.
So, are you saying if the Bengals went to Kansas City?
I'm saying if the Bengals went to Kansas City, I think they would have lost that game. Like if that game was just by changing because how close it was. To be honest.
I honestly agree with that.
Okay.
And I honestly think Bengals are offensive line away from beating a lot of these great teams.
They need an offensive line.
If I'm correct, Joe Burrow is the most sacked quarterback in the league. If I'm not wrong.
I'm not sure exactly.
Right?
I'm not sure.
I know he's been sacked a butt ton.
He has been sacked a lot. Yeah.
And I think that's just a huge game changer. Like that's one play gone because your offensive line can't protect you.
Okay, then we can say this too. Then.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
In the
they
NFC,
are a run game away.
So as a group,
running back away.
Yep. As a group, who do we think is just short in the NFC?
Just short
Rams and Cardinals.
NFC.
Actually, no. Hold on. How many teams are we putting up in here? I think we put 2 teams in the up and coming. Two teams in the up and coming, and the rest of the teams in just short to Super Bowl.
Okay, so you have to put Patriots in up and coming. I mean, you have to do that.
No, absolutely not. I disagree.
You don't think so?
No, I think in the up and coming, you put the Eagles and you put the Raiders.
No.
Two teams that I don't think will be close to the Super Bowl.
I
this
agree with
year.
the Patriots and up and coming.
The Patriots
Really?
and
Because
San
the
Francisco have
Raiders
to be
aren't
my
really
top
up
two.
and coming team. The Patriots have a young quarterback. They're like young overall on the team. Like they have a lot of young talent. I think they are extremely up and coming, especially with the young quarterback play they have. Like literally a rookie. I think it's
I put the
up and coming. I think fits them perfectly. And then I would almost say the 49ers
I say
because
for the Niners, but you could
Up and
also say
coming.
the Eagles.
because Trey Lance is coming, and I think Trey Lance's ability to run adds a whole nother dynamic to them. And if next year, with the roster they have now, maybe add a little bit more talent, maybe help the secondary out on defense.
Right now, I think you put the 49ers just short to the Super Bowl because I think the 49ers are a better team than the Eagles.
Fair.
Now,
Actually,
long
I could agree with
term, I definitely think Trey Lance and that team is an up and coming team. But I think right
this
now
is
you
way
put
too
the
up and coming.
But like right now,
only
I say
thing I
up
had
and
to
coming,
say
you
about
have to say
that-
San Francisco.
No, up and coming, you put just short to Super
I
Bowl.
agree with this actually
I think
because
you've got
right
to.
now Garoppolo is it, and they are
Like-
just short of the Super Bowl with Garoppolo. I think.
Right,
I would be
he's
okay with that.
struggled.
And I'd be okay with that.
You think the Raiders are just short to the Super Bowl?
Raiders
No,
are too
I don't. But
inconsistent.
are they really up and coming?
I think so. I think so. I think they're an up and coming team just because, and purely just because they've been a team that has gone through like a lot this year. They lost one of the greatest receivers, or one of the great receivers they had. They lost a head coach, so it was. I think it was a big setback for them. I mean, they lost a couple of games after that, but then after the interim coach came in, they started to begin slowly get better and better. I think that they're, and let's be real here. I think I put the Patriots in just short of the Super Bowl because they have an established defense. I think that's no question. Okay, I can agree with that.
Because I don't know if the Raiders defensively can hold up.
But you can also take this to last year because the Raiders were even they were talked about. Hey, they can make it to the playoffs.
Yeah, they were
They
short.
didn't make it to the
But
playoffs.
the defense is what holding them back. I think the defense
Anyway-
is not good enough with the inconsistencies they have at offense sometimes. Like, Carr played a great game last night, but there's some times where he struggles. Like, he's struggled against better. The Chargers' defense is not good.
Yeah, especially their pass offense.
They are terrible.
Pass
And
defense.
their rushing defense is even worse. Their rushing defense
that's
is
true.
horrid. Like, I like the Raiders. I think they're a defense away. I think they need some pieces on defense. They have a great pass rusher in Max Crosby, 100%. They are a help in the secondary. I just don't think they're 100% ready right now. I really don't. Especially with that fourth quarter that Herbert had yesterday. You have to think about it. They're playing Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow is great. That passing defense. I would love the Raiders to upset the Bengals. I think they can because abilities. They have so many weapons on offense, right? They have Waller coming back. They had Josh Jacobs last night. They had people like Zay Jones make a couple plays. They have Deshaun Jackson. He was making deep balls early. I didn't really necessarily see him last night. They have Hunter Renfrow. We know what Hunter Renfrow could do. He's a baller in the slot.
Yep.
The question is if they're going to be able to do anything. Yeah, the question is if they're going to be able to do anything against the Bengals passing defense when we know the Bengals defense is inconsistent throughout games. Like, they'll make a couple stops, but then also gives up some stuff. You know what I mean? The question is if their defense can make enough stops. I don't think they can. And it's the opposite for the Steelers. The Steelers can't score. The Steelers are playing the Chiefs. How are they going to score? The Chiefs put up 30 a couple weeks ago against the Steelers, and then they couldn't score points. The Steelers could not score. Are they going to be able to do the same this week?
I'm gonna say this: the Steelers are going to go into a building stage within the next year. I mean,
I could see what you mean. I don't think they have to fully restart though. They've got solid receivers. They still have a solid defense. I just think they need to add a couple more pieces. I think they're maybe 2-3 years away until they become one of those teams where they, it's like, okay, one of those teams to beat. Like Kansas
let me
City,
ask you this though,
because they still need a quarterback afterwards.
Yeah.
But let me ask you this: do you think Juju and Claypool are going to be the face of the Steelers?
They kind of are offensively. Actually, I think not. Well, I mean that and Najee Harris as well. Najee Harris is a good running back.
Yeah, but it all depends on
like
quarterback play.
That's true too.
And that's why I'm saying I can't say up and coming yet because we don't know who their quarterback's going to be. That's why I think just not it. This year they're just not it. Like offensively, they're not it.
Right.
I think this list makes the most sense.
And they still have T.J. Watt on defense. That man's a beast. I mean,
their defense can do them work, but can they do anything offensively?
Right, and we need both sides to work in order to fully optimize that team.
The biggest question is, can they do something offensively without a massive game from the defense? Because you can't expect your defense to play exceptional against Mahomes. It's hard.
Now,
I
do
mean, well,
want to
it
say
doesn't
one
help that
thing.
they're on the field most of the time too.
Yeah, exactly. They're always on the field.
I want to say one thing. I think we talked about this before. Watch the Steelers and Chiefs game and watch it closely, because I would not be surprised. Oh, I mean, I would be slightly surprised, but I think the Steelers definitely have a chance to beat the Chiefs. Do I think it's a high chance? Absolutely not. But they still have a chance to beat the Chiefs, and here's why. This could potentially be Big Ben's last game. He was expecting to be his last game 2 games ago when he played his last game at home. Big Ben has nothing to lose here. Has absolutely nothing to lose here. If I'm correct, he already won 2 Super Bowls. He's in the playoffs now. I'm pretty sure a spot that he was not expecting to even be in. I mean, who was expecting the Jags to beat the Colts? Not me. Big Ben has nothing to lose. If that man wants to sit there and be like, all right, let me just throw a deep display. Throws it deep, and he's successful with it, and he continues to do that throughout the game where he's taking these risky shots and they're being completed. The Chiefs need to watch out because, like we discussed, that defense is good. And if Big Ben can get that offense rolling and he's, throwing these risky plays that are, being completed, it's going to be a lot closer game than a lot of people think.
That's what the playoffs are, though, right? The playoffs are always close. Every game is going to be a good game, so.
I mean, true, but I think with Big Ben having his last game of his career, potentially, I see him being a lot more riskier than usual. I mean, I personally would. If it's my last game, I'm like, yeah, fuck it. Someone's down there somewhere. Toss that thing.
Exactly. He's just going to dime it down.
I'm just saying.
Exactly.
I lost my last game.
Wait, you lost your last game?
Yeah, when I played in high school, I lost my last game. Just saying.
Oh, the championship game, right?
Yeah. But anyway, that doesn't matter.
That was rough. I was watching that too.
I'm not saying the Steelers will go far in the playoffs, but I'm just saying there's a possibility that the Steelers beat the Chiefs, and if it does, it throws a wrench in everything, especially for a lot of those AFC teams.
Except for Tennessee.
Think it makes the path. Except for, I was just about to say, it makes the path even easier for them.
Yeah.
Even easier.
Okay. But so we can agree with this
list.
Yes, I agree with this.
Agree.
Yes.
Yep.
Yes, I love it.
I think so too. I think that's a perfect list. I think we killed it. Although we had some back and forth and some great times. Yeah, so that's going to be the end of the podcast. Brian, we appreciate you joining us on the last part. It means a lot. We're going to be getting a lot more guests on here. Tag or let us know about people we should add, for guests and stuff in the offseason. We already have some couple plans, like, maybe some mock draft people, some people that are, been really deep into college football, prospects and all. Obviously, playoffs starting. We had a lot of good conversation today. Playoff talk and all that. I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Make sure you check out Brian's socials in the description for sure. Hope you guys enjoyed the episode. Like, comment, subscribe, do all the good stuff. And we'll see you guys next time. Peace.
Peace.